Hey, what is poppin'? It's your boy Fizz and I'm bringing you guys the OLT Oblivion League Season 7 Week 6 battle. And I'm going up against Zern and the Delaware Kyurem-Black Foxes. Now, Zern is a good pal of mine. I've known him for a pretty long time now. And we've actually played twice before. Well, we played 3 times before, but this is the 3rd time he's going to be appearing on my channel. We played 2 times for UPA, once in the regular season, once in the first round of the playoffs. Regular season, it was a very sloppy game. I choked horrendously, and he ended up winning that game. And in the first round of playoffs, I hacked the ever-living crap out of him to win and advance to semis. So both were very sloppy games. Hopefully we can have a non-bad game this week in OLT. Really looking forward to playing him again. I'm currently like 2-1 against him, I think. The other win was from like a random league that didn't really mean much. But yeah, hopefully we can go 3-1 against Zern here. That'd be pretty sick. And if we win one of these games like in the next few weeks, we're going to be clinched for playoffs, I believe. I didn't really run like math on that, but I think that's how it should go. Right now I'm 4-1, 5-1? 4-1? Yeah, I'm 4-1 right now. So picking up a dub here would advance us to 5-1, and we're in prime playoff position. And the good thing is there's only 8 weeks, so I only have to play 3 more weeks, including this game, which is really nice. And hopefully we can win it all, maybe, question mark. But yeah, definitely going to try to do my best in the regular season. But yeah, going up against Zern, he has a pretty scary team, man. One of the worst matchups I've had in this league. Quite honestly, I think it was the worst matchup for me. But yeah, I'm just going to jump right into it. He has a Mega Latios, Heatran, Greninja, Shaman, Lucario, Cresselia, Toxapex, Swampert, P2, and the Lycanroc. So he has really, really good fat with the Heatran, Shaman, Cresselia, Pex, Swampert, and the P2. They're all very, very solid defensive Pokemon, and it's going to be a lot of trouble to break through that. Even with Meloetta on my team, it's going to be tough to break that because, as you can see on your screen, he does have a Cresselia and a Toxapex that can really chew any Meloetta hit that I can throw off, and that's going to be a little bit of a problem. And Shaman can also take a couple of hits from Meloetta, so it's going to be really hard to break through Zern's team with my Meloetta here, so that can't really do much. Thundy is also a decent breaker here, but it needs all 4 of its move slots for coverage to hit his entire team. So I need something to hit Swampert, something to hit like Shaman, something to hit like Latios, Heatran, and obviously Electric Stab would be ideal. So it's going to be very tough to use Thundy here. 4 attacks is all I can really run on it. Nasty Plot I can't really afford to run Nasty Plot on it. Mamoswine is obviously checked by the Cresselia and well, only the Cresselia, and that thing is fat, and I can't really break it that much. But yeah, my offense is actually really, it actually has like a lot of trouble breaking through his defense. So it's going to be really tough in this matchup. And one other thing, I don't really have switch-ins to Greninja. Like, look at my team and look at Greninja, I don't have switch-ins at all. Like, Mega Blastoise gets bodied by like Life Orb, Dark Pulses, etc., stuff like that. So it's going to be really tough to build for his team, both offensively and defensively. So yeah, it's going to be a bit of a challenge here, but let's see if we can pull out the win, man. That'd be sick. But anyways, I'm going to jump right into my team. First of all, I have the Meloetta Pirouette. I forgot nicknames this week. I'm sorry, but whatever. I have a really weird and bad set here. I have Lefty, Sub, Drain Punch, Return, and Knockoff. So my idea was that I can get a free sub on anything. Well, I can get a free sub pressuring something out, and I can force him to Cresselia, make it take a Knockoff plus Return chip. But I think I expect to have Rocky Home anyway, so maybe Sub wasn't the play. But the thing is about this set, I think Bandit would have been much better just to be able to actually break through the Cresselia, because Knockoff and Return to max defense Cresselia, which I definitely expect, is going to do like 4% of damage. So this doesn't break Cresselia at all. Don't really know I ran Sub leftovers. I think that was just a poor set. Maybe Bandit, Life Orb was definitely just a better bring here. I should have just brought Classic Meloetta. And it's really bad that I can't run Adamant too, because Greninja, I need to outspeed that. It's the fastest thing on his team at neutral, without any Scarfers, of course. And Greninja is something that bodies my team, so I need some way to guaranteed kill that Greninja and outspeed it. So this is why I'm forced to run Jolly instead of like Adamant or something like that. So it was really tough bringing this Meloetta. I don't think it was the best set here, but regardless, I brought it anyway. Maybe that was my mistake. Don't know. But anyways, I'm going to jump right into my Thundy here. Again, like I mentioned before, it's going to be 4 attacks with the Life Orb. So I have HP Ice, Thunderbolt, Grass Knot, Focus Blast. Now, what this does to his team is everything. It hits pretty much everything on his team. Latios can take a couple of hits if it Calm Minds up, and it can 1v1 my Thundy actually, which is going to be very scary if he's like Calm Mind Roost. Don't really expect that, but it can definitely come. Can actually 1v1 my Thundy, which is pretty scary. But everything is hit by my coverage almost super effectively. Grass Knot is only there for the Swampert. Don't know if he'll bring double water. or triple water rather. I definitely think Greninja is going to come. Like, he has no reason not to. Pex, I feel like he's definitely going to come as well. Don't know about Swampert. Don't know if he's going to bring triple water. I don't really think that makes sense. But Grass Knot is there just in case they hit the Swampert anyway. Focus Blast is for Heat Train and the P2 and Lycanroc, so I can hit those pretty hard. But yeah, this Sunday again was forced to run 4 attacks. I didn't have any room for any like tech like Nasty Plot, Agility, T-Wave, anything like that. Didn't really have room for it. So 4 attacks was what I was left with, unfortunately. But that's gonna be my Thundy. It still does pretty good work in this matchup anyway. But next up I have the Klefki here, and I have Spikes, Heal Block, Dazzling Gleam, and the T-Wave on it. So Heal Block was pretty much the reason why I brought this thing. Heal Block prevents Cresselia from healing up, which is going to be really, really good for my Meloetta. And also prevents things like Toxapex from recovering up, things like P2 from recovering up, Latios, etc. So it's going to be a really good tech here in this matchup. Also, Spikes kind of destroy him. Spikes are really good against his team. His hazard removal game is going to be that Mega Latios, and that's all he has, I believe. So, yeah, he's going to have a lot of trouble dealing with Spikes against the Klefki. Dazzling Gleam for stab. And T-Wave is broken. I can T-Wave the Heat Train coming in, and if that happens, like, that's a win for me. I love getting Yellow Magic on the Heat Train, which is fine by me. Latios is really good for that as well. But the thing is with this set, Shaman kind of switches in every time because he has Natural Cure. He can switch into my Toxics and my T-Wave, stuff like that. So Shaman is definitely a roadblock for my Klefki here. But either way, it's Max Spadef to help deal with the Latios and the Greninja somewhat. So yeah, that's the reason behind the Klefki. Spikes and Heal Block are really nice here. And next up I have my Life Orb Brain Nicholas. Very Fizzdef, well, a lot of Fizzdef on it. And this is to help out with the Lucario. Lucario does a lot to my team, so I don't die to anything on the physical end from Lucario. I'm able to take a lot of things and recover up, stuff like that. And what Life Orb does for me, I can like one-shot pretty much everything on his team with a Life Orb. Well, not one-shot everything, but do a lot of work against his team with the Life Orb. So Signal Beam covers the Greninja and the Shaman really nicely. Cresselia as well. And Focus Blast covers the P2, which could definitely run like a trick set on me, maybe. I don't know what he'll run. But Focus Blast also hits the Heat Train. Heat Train pretty much prevents me from running any sort of like setup because he can taunt me and he can Magma Storm me, stuff like that, which is not very fun. And he can also run Roar if he's prepared for that as well. So yeah, Life Orb, or rather setup Ray Nicholas was probably not the best play here. So Life Orb, probably the best set that I could have brought, and also helps out with Fizzdef stuff as well. So next up I have the Mamoswine. I have a Sash set here with the Earthquake, Icicle Crash, Knockoff, and the Stealth Rock. So my idea behind this Mamoswine, it didn't really have the best matchup here in my opinion. Cresselia was just too big of a threat and could switch into Mamoswine every single time. Icicle Crash, even if it's banded, would bounce off Cresselia if it was max Fizzdef lefties. So didn't really like Mamo's offensive matchup here. So I'm using it as like a lead. I have no reason to not lead it every single time, because if he leads Greninja, he wants to taunt me, which I don't think he'll do. I can have Oblivious, which I do have. I can Earthquake that thing, and if he thinks he'll knock me out, I can kill it back and bring me down to my Sash, whatever he wants to do. And Shaman, if it wants to lead, which I can definitely expect it leading against my team, like Seismitoad and Mamoswine are going to be my rockers. Diancee's also a rocker, so Shaman has no drawback in regards to lead matchup. So I can lead off with my Mamoswine and Icicle Crash that thing, and like completely body that thing, and I can potentially outspeed Shaman if he's like no speed as well. So that's really nice. Adamant just to help out with the damage, and Rocks are really good against his team. Nice chip and stuff like that. But yeah, I think this was the best Mammo set I could have brought. It's still pretty weird, but I don't know. I had to play with what I was working with here. Next up, I have the Seismitoad, my Greninja check quotation marks. I have Rindo Berry, so I can at least have a Greninja check. Otherwise, Grass Knot does a lot of damage to me. I'm Max Spadef to be able to switch into the Greninja and Latios much better than I am without the Seismitoad, or without the Spadef investment. And Focus Blast is on there, so that I can kill Greninja after a Life Orb hit, and after Rocks I can kill it with Focus Blast. So I really needed Greninja gone, man. It kind of destroys my team, so I need to be prepared for that in any way, shape, or form. Dual Stab there and Toxic for the Latios. Again, sub like Calm Mind is something that I have to heavily consider, but I don't think they'll have a move slot for that to 1v1 my Seismitoad. He can definitely have Energy Bell on it as well. But yeah, this is my semi-Greninja check. I didn't really have room for Rocks on this thing. And against Shaman is always an easy switch in against this thing, which is really sad. But you know what, it's tough. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about my team. Kind of sucks, but it was a tough matchup. I think I did my best in building. But yeah, hopefully we can pick out a W against Zern, and yeah, I'm just gonna jump right into the battle here. And we are here with the battle against Zern. Good luck, have fun, of course. Now he brings a team consisting of the Mega Latios, Lucario, Cresselia, Greninja, Shaman, and the Heatran. So kind of surprising OPEX, but he had so many threats on his team that I couldn't really fault him for bringing something else. But Pex kind of made sense to me, but no Swampert made me regret putting Grass Knot on the Thundy. Like Nasty Plot or Agility could have been super sick, but that's obviously a hindsight prep. I can't really do anything about that. But yeah, I noticed that his only rocker is going to be that Heatran, so if I can catch that off guard, that'd be pretty sick. But I do expect him to lead with the Shaman here regardless, because my two potential rockers on my team get bodied by these Shaman. But he decides to lead off with the Heatran as I lead off with my Mammothswine. This is really good for me because I can Earthquake that thing. He goes for the I go for the Earthquake as he is revealing to be Sash here, and he goes for Flash Cannon, revealing that we're both Sash is what I'm trying to say. So that was pretty funny, turn one. So I just go for the knockoff to finish off the Heatran. So no rocks on my side. It's pretty cool. And I just have to sack something off. And I could have gone into Sagmatoad there, to be honest, but Mammothswine didn't really serve a role. I guess rocks could have been cool, but I couldn't really do anything about that. But yeah, just going to my Meloetta here, hoping that I can do something. I go for the return. I get a crit, and it does 39. So yeah, this is where I regret bringing that sub-lefty set. Should have ran like Life Orb or Bandit or something. But I just go into the Ray Nicholas here, since it can take advantage of anything that this Cresselia wants to go for. As I go for my Signal Beam, does a hefty chunk of damage. As he goes for a Toxic, don't really know why. But right here, I go for the Signal Beam as Moonblast, and he actually tells me during the game that meant to be Moonlight, not Moonblast. So yeah, that's bad for him. But right here, I'm going to go for the Signal Beam, get as much damage on this as possible. And the next turn, I think I'm going to recover. Is that what I do? Yeah, just recover here. So yeah, I just want to be as healthy as possible to be able to switch into Lottie and Lucario better. So I just go for my other Signal Beam here as it takes 11% from that thing. Goes for the Meteor Mash, and I know I just killed it with Psychic, so that's what I'm going to do. I kill it with Psychic. So I'm up 5-3, which is really cool. He goes into Latios. Don't really have switch-ins anymore, so he just goes for the Shadow Ball. Again, could have gone into the Sagmatoad, but I really need that thing healthy to be able to take a hit from Greninja and revenge that thing. But yeah, next I go into my Klefki here. And I hear I can get a Spike Up or something, but I go for the T-Wave here as he goes into his Shaman, which is a really good play. And yeah, it's really bad because he can switch out, get rid of the Para, as he Leech Seeds my Thundy, which is not good at all. So this means that I'm going to be taking more chip in addition to the Leech Seed, in addition to the Life Orb rather, as he makes a really risky play to go into the Greninja here. I could have had Signal Beam there. I don't know if I get Signal Beam, but yeah, that's what happens. He goes for the Scald here as I get no health back because I'm already at full. He goes for the Spikes right here as I double into my Meloetta right here. So he goes for the Water Shuriken right now. I thought he would switch out because this Greninja was pretty important to him, so I didn't think he'd sack it off right here, but he actually does go for the Water Shuriken here, and yeah, he goes for 2 hits and he gets the 3 hits and breaks my sub, which was not fun, but I go for the Dream Punch, get a lot of health back, which is, I suppose, fun by me. But right now I'm up 4-2, which is cool, but also not cool, since my Meloetta still does nothing in this game, even though it killed the Greninja. So I just go into my Klefki here, and right here I'm going to decide to Dazzling Gleam, I believe. I'm hoping that I can do something, but instead he goes for the Earthquake and kills me, which is not good. Go into my Sagmatoad and get a Toxic off on something as he goes into Shaman, so yeah, this was not very good. I don't have any Shaman switch-ins at this point, so I'm just going to sack off my Sagmatoad. It didn't really do much anyway, and right here I feel my Focus Blast, which does approximately 4 damage to this thing. But, you know, at the very least, I can get some damage off on the Shaman, and by some, I mean around the Toxic shift that it takes, 19%. Pretty cool stuff there. So I'm going to go for the HP Ice here, hope it does something, but it doesn't do anything. So that's a problem. As he goes for the HP Ice, I'm assuming, as well. And he chips me down to the point where I can't live 2 Life Orb hits, which is not very good at all. I wish I had Dark Pulse right now because I think this game would have been over. Dark Pulse into return from Meloetta seems to be really good and won me the game, but right here goes for the safe recovery play, and I think this one's in the game. Even if I was banded, I don't know if Ice Punch would have, well, return does more, but maybe if I was banded it would have killed. But instead, Latios killed my Meloetta because I'm obviously really bad offensively because I'm sub-lefties. So that's going to be the story of the game. Mega Latios cleans up the game. GG to Zern. Again, pretty bad prep with my Meloetta. I felt like Bandit kind of bodied his team once his Heatran went down. Lucario wasn't a Steel type that could switch in return. So yeah, Bandit was definitely a safer call on that end, or even Life Orb, like I said before. But either way, he took advantage of my bad set and won with his pretty fat Lottie. But yeah, not too worried about this loss. So it's only 1-0 loss, and we still have 2 more weeks to get a win here to pretty much clinch playoffs. So yeah, again, GG to Zern. Hopefully we can battle again in a pretty not sloppy game. So that's good job. And yeah, next week we're going up against Objection, aka Destin. So a pretty good pal of mine. I've known him for a short while, but he's a good dude. And hopefully we can try to pick up the win against him and hopefully just clinch playoffs so I don't have to deal with the stress of making playoffs or not. But either way, I still am in the business of making playoffs. So yeah, hopefully we can pick up a W there. And we're going to be ending 4-2 right now, which is still not pretty good. Like, I think that's a pretty respectable record anyway. But yeah, that's going to be it for me. And now I want to say thank you guys so much for watching. It means the world to me. And like always, have a swell day. Peace.